Hey everyone, welcome back to the Print 3D channel. Today's April 14th, and that means day 104 of the 3DP 365 project. And on today's episode, we're going to print out Patrick Starr, so stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back, and thank you for joining me here for day 104 of the 3DP 365 project. If you're unfamiliar with the project, check out the description below. I put a fact section down at the bottom that'll give you all the details. And don't forget to check out that MatterHackers affiliate link. If you're in the market for a new printer parts, or if you just need some filament, use that MatterHackers affiliate link down in the description. It kicks a little bit back to the channel. It doesn't cost you a penny, and we really appreciate it. But on today's episode, we printed out Patrick Starr from Spongebob. And before we talk about this print, let's head over to Thingiverse and I'll show you where to download the model. Then we'll tab over to Simplify 3D and I'll show you my settings for the print. Then we'll meet back here at the workbench and we'll talk about the print. Okay folks, so here we are at Thingiverse. Here is Patrick Starr from Spongebob. And this model was created by Byambaa. And I'm sure you're familiar with that artist. He's the creator of the very famous Baby Groot sculpture that everybody printed. But Patrick Starr is a pretty recent release, and as you can see, it's got some awesome little details in here, and it says it prints without support, but I did add a little bit of support material, and I'll put the link down in the description so you can download and print this one yourself. But on the support factor, let's head over to Simplify 3D and I'll show you what I did. Alright folks, so here we are in Simplify 3D, and here is Patrick Starr, and I dropped him down on the print bed at 100%. And as you can see, I've added a little bit of custom support here under the hands, because there is a bit of an air print. I know he did add some support material as described in the Thingiverse description, but I think it needed a little bit more. And I also generated some automatic support in the areas here, just for safety's sake. And if you look over in my process settings, you can see that I have 3 processes set up. And the reason why I'm doing this is I wanted to save as much plastic as possible and speed up the print. With the single infill amount, this was about a 10-hour print, and I wanted to make sure that the mouth area here had something very sturdy to print on. So if you did a low infill amount, you might get some gaps and some sagginess in some of the layers in here. So what I did was low infill in the first part, high infill up here so these details would have something to print on, and then we end up with low infill. So let me show you my process settings and how I did that. And how you set up multiple processes is you have to go underneath the Advanced tab and tell that particular process, depending on how many you have, where to start and stop. And for these, I used a different infill amount. So for this first section, we used 10% infill. The rest of my settings are as follow. And this will be for all of the layers except for some of these settings for top and bottom layers. We did a 0.2mm layer height. I did 0 top layers on the first process setting, and 3 bottom layers and 3 perimeters. Again, we did add a brim by entering 0 in the skirt offset at 4 outlines. And for infill, like I said, we only used 10% for the first process, and we generated some custom support. For temperature, this is MatterHackers PRO PLA, so I've moved my temperature up to 207 throughout, and I have my 3-stage cooling system set up. Under speed, we ran the entire model out at 45 millimeters per second. Under the Advanced tab, we're going to stop printing at 45 millimeters, and then we're going to pick up the next process setting, which will take us up to 65 millimeters. And under here, as you can see, we start printing at 45 and we stop at 65. And our infill amount jumps up to 20% just to make sure we capture the detail in the mouth. For my third process setting, which will wrap up the print, this one starts printing at 65. You don't have to put a stop printing in here. And my infill drops down to 7%. So if we hit OK, and then we come over here and hit Prepare to Print, and do Select All and continuous printing layer by layer, and then hit OK, it'll run through all the processes. And this will be a real-time slice too. I won't pause it or speed this up at all. And there's our real-time slice of Patrick Starr. So if I play this through for you, you'll see the different processes pop up. Now I should have put in some top layers on that first process because there is a few little areas here that weren't perfect, and on his pant leg there's a few little gaps, and I think that the top layers would have filled those in. But either way, let me play this through so you can see how it prints. So we start off with our 10% infill, And then eventually it'll move up to the 20% infill, which should start right there. And that'll help complete the mouth area and make sure that has plenty of area to print on. And then there's a couple of top layers in there that'll help fill in those areas. And then we drop down to 7% infill. So if I speed this up to the end, you can see that that 7% infill will help increase the print time. Again, when I dropped this down on the print bed and just did a single process, we are well into 10 hours. So by adding multiple processes into our model, we've dropped our print time by almost 3 hours of printing, and that's awesome. And our print turned out pretty great, and I'm really happy with the results. So let's head over back to the workbench and let's talk about the print. All right, so you saw my settings in Simplify 3D, and here is Patrick Starr, and he turned out really, really good. I am super happy with the results. Everything about this print is awesome. And as you know, this was sculpted by Byambaa, the famous sculptor who made that baby Groot sculpture that everybody 3D printed recently. But his work on Patrick Starr is awesome. It's a non-support printing print, and even though I did add some support material down here by where his little arms are, the rest of the model didn't require any support. Even that huge gaping mouth, no support needed. And one of the cute little features, you can see his little butt. And as far as the print itself goes, the surface texture is really, really smooth. The gMax did such an amazing job on this. Most of the little seam lines are almost invisible. There's a little bit of a bump here, but not too bad. And one of the seams landed right in the mouth, but I was able to scrape off that little bit of fuzz that was in there. The mouth itself looks really, really good. That's a really good print. And Byambaa did a really great job of sculpting this and making it a support-free print. But I do have to say, I would personally add a little bit of support here underneath his little arms. But my gMax did such a good job picking up all the rest of the detail. You have his little belly button, all the little stitches on his pants, the little flower petals that are on his pants. Of course, his mouth, that looks really, really awesome. And of course, that cute little butt turned out perfectly. So I would say this is a 100% perfect print, and I'm really happy with the results. The one thing I might have done is maybe add some top layers to that first process, because we do have a few little gaps there on his pants. But I'm not going to reprint it just because of that. I think this is a perfect print. Well, that about wraps it up for day 104 of the 3DP 365 project. I hope you guys found this interesting and informative. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share those videos, and I'll see you tomorrow.